Auto-Tune Pro, Auto-Tune EFX, Auto-Tune, right? We're looking for tuning, and you want to become a master, a professional at Auto-Tune. Well, welcome to the Mix series. Let's get right into it. I'm going to show you some amazing tips to use Auto-Tune Pro, both auto and graph mode. Let's go. So you're here because you want to understand Auto-Tune Pro, the graph mode, the auto mode, all that good stuff. So let's listen to the vocal real quick.
Woo! Rolls Royce outside, so you know that's me. I'm chilling with your bitch, bumping Jodeci.
Okay, so that's our phrase. We have a couple stacks here, so I'm going to mute the stuff that we don't need. And this is going to be the Auto-Tune Pro version, okay? You cannot do this with any other version of Auto-Tune. So if you're going to be doing the graph mode, the auto mode, and we're going to do some professional stuff here, you got to have the Pro mode. Auto-Tune Pro, let's go. Professional, Auto-Tune Pro, Auto-Tune Pro. Professional. In Pro Tools, a really cool thing we can do is we have to select pitch and time, or pitch, right? Whichever you want to track, but this is basically record enabling Auto-Tune Pro. Okay, so we can get the audio into it. In Pro Tools, you can actually commit up to this insert and it'll do offline, it'll capture everything, and then you can tune it without listening to it, which is really awesome. But for this instance, and what I'm going to show you here, I'm just going to set this to the key that it's in. You don't have to do this part at all unless you're using the auto, but I'm just going to have alto, B major. That's really where we want to be. And I'm going to hit play and we're going to capture in this audio.
Rolls Royce outside, so you know that's me. I'm chilling with your bitch, bumping Jodeci. They said he didn't live, so you know that's me. Yep, you know that's me. Yep, you know that's me. Rolls Royce.
So this looks really bad when you first capture it. So here's a really great way to make this view a little bit better is you go up to the settings wheel and you can turn on show lanes in main graph. And that'll give you more of lanes like Melodyne would give you, right? Like blocks, so you can see the actual lanes here. So you can see the notes it's trying to hit, and you can see where he's bending up and all that good stuff. Click on this note thing. You can also hit make notes, and it'll make like little blocks right away, which is really great. But before I do that, I usually do make curves. I do then make notes, because the curves will kind of give us the curve and then you can have the notes. So now you have both. You have the green, which is the corrected pitch, and the red is where it actually initially was. So that's kind of cool. It's an easy way to visualize it. What you can do with this line tool is you could draw in exactly where you want your notes. For example, this is one note. If you didn't do the make notes, and then you hit escape and it'll end the note. So you can click, hit escape, and it'll end the note with the line. So again, I can go up here and I could say he was trying to hit this C sharp. Cool, I'll go here and I'll click and then I'll hit escape. And that's gonna draw a new line there, okay? Same thing here, like you just go da da da, and maybe you want the line to go a little bit further, and then click and hit escape, and you're gonna get your line right there. Now the cool thing about this is now you can do your retune speed and you can see exactly what it's doing to these green lines, because the green lines are effectively what we have tuned, right? So you can go, okay, retune speed with just this note, right? So whatever notes is selected, go to your selection tool, select the note, and you could say, hey, I want to retune this speed a little bit different than this speed, etc. You can't do that in auto mode, right? Because you're always just constantly letting it just automatically do it, and the retune speed affects all notes. So I really like this graph mode because you get a lot more professional, a lot more detailed. And, you know, you can come in here and you can literally do anything to anything. For example, let's say we want to draw vibrato in more on this, right? We can actually do like a squiggly line. Okay, pretty cool, right? So this might sound kind of crazy, but let's listen to this with just these tunings of these first. Keeping Auto-Tune Pro very organic, the best way to do it is to not try and tune up on these little, where the vocal is going to a new note, right? Where it's bending up to a pitch. Instead, leave that and only tune the note it's trying to get to. Okay, so let's listen to this first phrase just to give you an example.
Rolls Royce outside, so you know that's me. Rolls Royce outside, so you
starting to sound like you know, like a different singer of side, like he's doing some crazy shit here, right? So that's kind of fun. And if you ever want to reset anything or delete it, just use the selection tool. You can select it and you can hit delete. Oh, let me see. Click that. Delete. Nope. Okay. Click over it. Delete. No. Okay. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. All right. Well, there's also undo. Just so if you want to use undo, you can just undo all the stuff you did. So here I'm just undoing and I'm going back to where I was. And if I want to just tune this stuff a little bit tighter, I can flatten it. You know, I can go like that and make it super flat. I can, of course, use this tool as well, and I could draw in lines. So this is actually a note tool. If you hover over everything, it says draw note objects. So that's going to be giving you a note object. For example, here, this doesn't really have a note object. So what we can do is we can go, okay, let's draw a note object right there. Okay, so that's going to give you your note object and a tune. You can also do this by bringing up the number of notes, right? So it'll detect more notes. Be really careful with this mode because it can get really digital and you can get a lot of weird stuff in there. Like you'll get like, click, 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 like you'll get little chirps in there. So this is really how I use AutoTune Pro. I go in and the first step I do is I capture the audio and then I'm going to switch the view, right? You go into the settings here, just to give you a recap. Go to show lanes in main graph because without the lanes, you just kind of see this weird, like what's going on. The lanes will tighten up and show you the actual notes, which really help. So you're going to go up here, show lanes in main graph. And then when you have the lanes here, you can then decide, hey, I want to make curves and I want to make notes, okay? And the notes will give you your globs just kind of like Melodyne would do. I think Waves Tune does this as well. But now you have, again, your red line is the actual tune. Your green line is where it's tuning to. And you could select your different notes and you can go listen to them. Like, that's awesome, right? So you can hear exactly what's going on there. But you can also retune speed individual notes. For example, if I hover, if I just like, I'm clicking and dragging over this so that it highlights. So now it's highlighted. I can go, hey, I want this retune speed to be really fast. And then maybe on the longer notes on the releases here, I want this to be a little slower and more natural, right? So I'll loosen up on the retune speed. You can also draw in vibrato like I showed you before. You could take this tool here. It's called the draw curves, you know, it's the curve tool, I guess. You can do like a little vibrato thing at the end, you know, just give it a little curve. And that's kind of fun. You can get that really cool effect there.
Rolls Royce outside, so you know that's me.
This is all cool stuff. And then you can also just like, what I would do to keep this as natural as possible is delete these notes that are like transition notes. So like, see this note here? It's like transition note up to this note here. Because he's going Rolls Royce outside, right? He's like climbing up to that note. Just go make less number of notes, right? Get rid of that until you see it getting rid of it. And then just tune the note that it's coming up to. There's another way to do this. The last thing I'm going to show you is the other way to do this is, hey, let's not make notes. Let's make our curves again. And let's use this line tool. And we'll go, hey, we want this to be an E, right? Because it's kind of in between E and F. We'll go E, and then when you click, you get a line break, and then it'll go back up, and then say you want to come up here to this new note, which would be A sharp, it looks like, and then you could click, and then this is going to go over to the next note, right, up here, and you see how I'm just kind of building my notes, right? And this is going to go up to the, looks like it's trying to hit that C sharp, and then you go bam, and then you can hit escape. And now you've drawn a curve, okay? So there you go. And then you can listen to that. You can also retune speed those notes. Like you can make that really hard.
Rolls Royce outside, so you know that's me.
So that's a way to do it more like, hey, we want to do hard tune, like EFX kind of style stuff. And if you want a little more vibrato on a section, or you want a little bit more natural on a section, then don't retune speed as fast, right? Click the thing, hover over it until it's selected, and then you can retune speed that differently than the other stuff, right? So you can see how that's working with the green line. I use a balance of the auto and the graph mode because sometimes the biggest mistakes that I find that auto mode makes is, I'll show you exactly what it does. So it's usually on the release on like long sustained notes. It'll be like, like it'll like try to take that vibrato, that natural vibrato in a voice, and it'll try to take it up to different notes, especially with the retune speed kind of higher. So let's listen to this. I'll show you in auto mode.
Rolls Royce outside, so you know that's me. I'm chilling with your bitch, bumping Jodeci. They said he didn't live, so you know that's me. Yep, you know that's me. Yep, you know that.
So you hear it on that me. It's like, you know that's me. Like it tries to grab that me here at the end.
You know that's me. Yep, you know that's me. Yep, you know that.
So instead of letting the auto do that, you go to the graph mode and you could take that me and make sure that it's staying on one note.
You know that's me. Yep, you know that's me. Yep.
And you could tell it's because he's kind of pitchy. He's kind of flat on this one. So all you would do on this is you just go up here and you can draw it in, right? So you could take this guy and say, hey, I want this to be in A sharp, right? And just put it in the A sharp or the A or whatever you're trying to do here. Click escape, and then you're going to get that line, that green line. You're going to see the red was up here and the green is trying to take it down. But it might be different. You just figure out your pitch. But then the cool part is you could say, hey, I want this retune speed to be a little tighter. And then you could see this little vibrato at the end, right? So you can take that whole note and just drag it out and make it all the way there. Click it, escape. There you go. You got your line, and then retune speed it. So now it stays on that note. It's not going, that's me. Because sometimes you don't want that. Sometimes you do. It's like that T-Pain effect. But a lot of the times I don't want that. I want more natural. I want to, make sure the artist is hitting their note.
You know that's me. Yep, you know that's me. Yep, you know that's me. Yep, you know that's me. Yep.
Now it's, that's me. It's just one thing. It's not going me. So there you go. That's the graph mode. It's a little more control in Auto-Tune Pro. If you like this videos like it, smash the like button, show some love, subscribe to the channel. We got the Plug Into the Week series, mix series like this, and also I do a podcast, the Radium Podcast. Always love to have the subscribers on board. There's like 80% of people watching this right now are not subscribed to the channel, but we also do live song reviews. So if you're subscribed to the channel, you get pinged for that, and we can review your songs live. So thanks for tuning in. Share the video. Love you guys. Peace.